I've been driving Uber for about 4 years now, mostly nights. The money's better after dark, but so are the stories. Some people talk your ear off. Others just sit in the back scrolling, headphones in. But every now and then, you pick up someone who doesn't feel right. These are 3 rides I've never been able to forget. 3 passengers that made me wish I'd just stayed home that night. It was around 2 a.m. and I was 1 ride away from hitting my bonus for the night. I was tired, sure, but that last trip meant an extra $50, enough for groceries or gas for the week. The request came from this apartment complex on the outskirts of town. You know the kind, run down, half the windows boarded up, flickering streetlight out front, the kind of place that feels like it gave up a long time ago. I hesitated. My gut said skip it, but I was already so close. So I pulled up. No porch lights, no movement, everything was still. Then I saw him, a tall, lanky guy in dark clothes, hoodie pulled up. He was dragging a massive black duffel bag, one of those oversized ones, like something you'd use to carry sports gear or camping supplies. He walked straight toward my trunk without making eye contact. Before I could say anything, he said real casually, "Mind if I toss this in the back? Just tools, heavy stuff." I didn't even get out of the car, just popped the trunk from the driver's seat. I watched him struggle a bit with it, had to lean in and shift the bag with both arms. When it landed, it made this thud, not metallic, not clunky. But I brushed it off. I figured it was power tools or some kind of work gear. He shut the trunk gently, got into the back seat, and didn't say a word. He didn't smell like sweat or cigarettes or booze, nothing. Just silence. I glanced back once. He was staring straight ahead, motionless. I started driving. The destination was already in the app, a park on the edge of town I'd never been to. A couple minutes in, I heard something. Thump. I thought it was the bag shifting. Roads out there were cracked and uneven. But then I heard it again. Thump. Thump. This time louder, more rhythmic. I looked in the mirror. The guy wasn't moving, but his eyes, they were watching me now. He leaned forward and muttered, "It's just gear, don't worry about it." My mouth went dry. I forced a laugh. "What kind of gear?" I asked. He didn't answer, just leaned back and smiled. That smile stayed burned in my head, not friendly, not normal, just empty. We drove the rest of the way in silence. The address led to this old park. No lights. Swings creaking in the wind. A busted basketball court half covered in weeds. He suddenly said, "Right here's good." I stopped. He opened the door and ran. Full sprint, across the grass into the shadows. Didn't say thank you, didn't even shut the door right. I waited for maybe 30 seconds, thought maybe it was a drug deal or something shady, but then I heard it again. Thump, thump. Coming from the trunk. My stomach flipped. Hands shaking, I got out and walked around to the back. Popped it open. That same black duffel bag was moving. I unzipped it slowly, honestly, I don't know what I was expecting. Inside was a woman. Bound, gagged, eyes wide with panic, bruises around her wrists. She started crying the second she saw me. I called the cops right there. Turns out she'd been missing for 2 days, had been snatched from a grocery store parking lot in another town. The guy, burner phone, fake name, no fingerprints in the car. He vanished into the dark and was never found. For a while after, I blamed myself. I should have checked. I should have said no. But in this job, you train yourself to stop asking questions. You see weird stuff every night. But nothing like that. And some nights, when the city's quiet and the roads are dead, I swear I still hear it. Thump, thump. It was late, just past midnight, and raining hard. I was about ready to call it a night when one last ride popped up near the Greyhound station. The guy got in fast, almost like he didn't want to be seen. Hoodie on, soaked jeans, no suitcase or bag. Just him. He didn't say a word, just tapped the window with 2 fingers, like go. Normally I like to break the silence, ask where people are coming from, but something about him felt off from the jump. His hands were in his lap, but clenched, tight, like he was trying not to lose it. 5 minutes in, I started hearing the rain really hammering the roof, and I turned the music down just a bit. That's when he spoke. I turned my head slightly. "Your name is Greg," he said. "You have a daughter named Ellie, a son named Marcus. Your wife's name is Dana. You live at 4218 Fenmore Lane. Your dog is a beagle named Buster. He's 15 years old. The vet said he wouldn't make it through the winter, but you haven't told the kids yet." I hit the brakes, hard enough to make us both lurch. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear my own voice. "How the hell do you know that?" I asked. He didn't move, just kept staring forward. "I used to live in your house, the basement. It is still mine." I told him the ride was over. I was shaking, but I meant it. He didn't argue. He opened the door slowly, then turned to me and smiled. A tiny, awful smile. Before he left, he said, "Tell Dana I said hi." Then he got out. We were on the edge of the city. There were no streetlights, just wet pavement, mist, and that humming, flickering light coming from an old billboard. He walked off into the alley behind a shut-down gas station and vanished into the dark. I sat there for a good 5 minutes before I could even breathe right. Drove straight home. Everyone was asleep, but the lights were on in the basement, and the old window, the one we boarded shut after it cracked during a storm, was open, just slightly. I nailed it shut that night, and I've checked it every single night since. I picked up a lot of strange fares while doing long hauls in Nevada. The back roads out there feel like they lead to another planet. No signal, no lights, just dirt and black sky. That night I was driving through a stretch between 2 tiny towns. It was just after 4 a.m. when the ping came through. I remember thinking, who the hell is out here right now? But curiosity won. I took the turnoff it gave me. Gravel road, 0 lights, just a faint red dot on the GPS. That's when I saw her. A woman in a white dress standing just beyond the ditch on the side of the road. No shoes, long dark hair. She didn't wave, didn't flinch, just stood there. I rolled down the window slowly and asked if she was all right. She didn't say anything, just nodded once and got in. Her hair was damp, and she smelled like wildflowers. Not perfume, real ones. Like the kind you'd pick out of a meadow. The GPS hadn't updated with the destination, but she raised one hand and pointed forward. We drove in silence for 10 minutes. I kept checking the rear view, and every time I did, her face was turned just slightly toward the window, like she wasn't really looking out, just leaning away from me. Then she raised her hand again and pointed. We were near an open field. No fence, no signs, just flat land and dead grass. I slowed down and asked, "You want out here?" She nodded again. I turned my head, and the seat was empty. The door was closed, seatbelt still buckled, but she was gone. I pulled over thinking maybe she jumped out or collapsed or something, got out, nothing, just dry wind and silence and the soft squeal of one loose windshield wiper. I checked the footage on my dash cam the next morning. There was no one in the back seat, not a shadow, not a movement, just me, talking to empty air. I looked up the area later. A woman was killed there 6 years earlier. Hit and run. Driver never came forward. People around here say she still tries to find her way home. But the creepiest part? When I looked at my trip history in the app, that ride wasn't listed. No fare, no name, no payment. It was like it never happened. But I know it did, and every year, on that same date, I go out of my way to avoid that road. Some rides stay with you, no matter how many you take after. You remember the feeling, the silence, the weight in the air that told you something was wrong. Whether it was a predator, a stalker, or something not even human. These aren't just stories to me. They happened. I was there. And there are plenty more. If you made it this far, leave a comment and tell me, which ride gave you chills? And if you've ever had a ride you wish you could forget, you're not alone. I'm still driving, and I'm still listening.